JP, like your production is amazing. I love your show.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I'm just so happy that finally able to make this happen and be on your show. And like, I wish you the very, very best, man. All the best. You're gonna have an amazing, amazing 2022.
I am impressed. Having a little bit of envy with your production. So well put together. And I love the value that you're delivering, the questions that you focus on. And I know that you are just trying to get amazing content out to people who are trying to improve and learn and grow every single day.
I am beyond words, man. The level of professionalism here, it's high, bro. It's high. And the good thing is that this is something that you have near to your heart. I can tell that you're very passionate at what you do. I can tell that you take this very serious, and I love it, man, because it reflects in your professionalism outside. So what people see, it's you, man. It's the real you. It's the passion that you have. It's the poise. It's definitely something to admire. So I am really, really learning a lot about your production value, and I'm definitely taking some tips for myself.
Where to start? Like, mind blowing emoji. Where is it? Just put the graphic up, okay? Designers, put that mind blowing emoji right there over my face. This was so awesome. I truly, like, the energy is amazing. Being backstage, listen, you gotta get on the show just to be backstage. And the conversation with JP, right? It's really enriching. All silliness aside, I'm a clown, but it's really enriching. I mean, these conversations are thought-provoking. The topics, the expertise that you bring from your tech background, the experience that you bring from your guest background, how they just integrate is so beautiful, because people are literally able to walk away with something that they can use, not just consume. Because we can be real good at consuming stuff and doing nothing with it. But the content creators, allows people to walk away. They got the information, now they can take the next natural step. It was palatable. It's tangible. It's actionable. This has been awesome.
The Content Creator University is the one-stop shop for you to learn about technology, where you as a content creator can learn on how to create content, how to create videos, how to promote videos, and how to bring that engagement that we also lack sometimes.
Child, honey, I got so much to learn, but this was awesome to see the quality of production that actually can be had without having a TV studio or something like that, right? Like, for me, I'm like, how can I get something that's high quality from this spot that I'm sitting right here, which is my office, and make it look good, sound good, and the quality be like studio quality. So I am thoroughly impressed, hands down.
I got to tell you, there are a lot of people who talk about how JP puts things together and they look so slick and polished. What I'm also really impressed by, even beyond the things that you may see, is on the outside, is the stuff that is happening behind the scenes, because the systems and the processes, all the stuff, the machinery that JP's got in place, man knows his stuff. So super impressive, and it's really a privilege to be here and be part of it.
What you have is a glimpse into the future of content. If you're watching this like on your TV right now, think about what you just saw. If you're watching this on your phone, think about all the elements. What's so different between what he has here right now with Content Creation University and on the show than what you watch on Apple, what you watch on Netflix? Nothing, right? I am amazed, number one, at your
Let's go! Welcome everyone to CCU Content Creation University Season 6. You ready for this? Let's go! Yes, sir! Welcome. You guys know how we do it. This is a party. We made it, family. We made it to Content Creators University Season 6. So excited, so honored, because we have done it again. And boy, I'm telling you, we have some surprises for you for this season. It's going to be a lot of amazing things, family. If you're all about learning how to leverage technology, content creation, in order to level up your business, understanding the draw plate, everything that it takes in order for you to be successful, well, that's what we're all about right here, right? Every single week, we will be meeting live right here to talk about these things. And listen up, family, listen. This is a big deal. You hear me? It is a big deal. Why? Because I've learned that in order to be successful, you got to surround yourself with smarter people. And these are the type of things that you want to do. Have those folks in the room. As you know, if you're, OG of this show, you know that we always bring some amazing guests over here. And tonight we have another amazing one, but a little bit about him. Go ahead and put it in the comment section, OG or newbie if you're new to us. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to the folks that are joining us in the comment section. What's happening? My man, James Hicks. I appreciate you being here, James. Always an honor. Excited to have you here, family. So excited for the support. And let's go, First Lady Cree. I appreciate you. Listen, let us know where you're joining us from. For we're live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, on our Roku TV application, and across the web. Let us know in the comment section where exactly are you joining us from. And what we're about to do right now is go ahead and jump into what we call the news. Right after that, we'll bring our guests onto the stage. So stay with me. Don't go anywhere, family. It's going hot. Let's go.
Hey, man, this is DJ Strick, and you're watching Content Creators University with JP High Tech. Man, don't miss a thing. Stay right here.
All right, family. Let's go ahead and talk about the news. And talking about the news, if you didn't know, I'm going to let you know right now, we do have our own application. So if you're on Apple, Android, sorry, we don't have an Android app yet. We're working on that. But if you have an iPhone, go ahead, go to your app store right now and download the app called JP High Tech TV. If you're listening to the podcast, it's JPHIGHTEK TV is free. Go ahead and download that right now onto your phone. Let's stay connected so that you can have some private videos and things that we don't post on YouTube or everywhere. And so that will allow you to be part of our community, right? We're really ramping this thing up and making sure we're bringing you guys a lot of value, a lot of content that you guys will appreciate. So go ahead and download that right now. Talking about application, I mentioned we're on TV, so download our Roku TV application as well. Same name is JP High Tech TV right now, and you will appreciate it. The next thing I want to let you know, if you didn't know, family, we do have our book, Amazon bestseller, The Live Stream Blueprint, currently available for you to go ahead and purchase, or go to the website, thelivestreamblueprint.com. I repeat, thelivestreamblueprint.com is what you want to go ahead and visit the website, or just go on Amazon. Right? Go ahead and go there, and I promise you, you will not regret it. All right. So this is very, very, very important. All right, family. So another thing that I want to let you guys know, if you did not know, we do have our own community. Is the Content Creators University. Go ahead, visit the website, contentcreatorsuniversity.com, create a free account. Click on login or sign up and join a group of like-minded professionals, right? People that are serious about leveraging technology and visibility and content creation to grow their businesses. Listen, one person don't know it all. But if you surround yourself with people that are doing or trying to do what you're trying to do, some folks are ahead of the game. Some are just starting. We're all coming together in order to support each other. And that's the best thing that I've ever done for myself, is surrounding myself with smarter folks than me. Go ahead and do it today. ContentCreatorsUniversity.com is the place you want to be. Before I share with you the next news, let me go ahead and give a shout out to the one and only Felicia Shakespeare in the house. Welcome. Appreciate you being in the comment section. Let us know where you're joining us from. Are you on YouTube? Yeah, I see right there. She's on YouTube. Thanks for being here. And family, the next thing I want to let you know about is we are, of course, on YouTube, if you didn't know. If you're watching this somewhere else away from YouTube, I want to encourage you. The main party takes place on YouTube, and the handle is at JPHIGHTEK. Come and subscribe to the channel. You heard that, right? Subscribe to the channel. This is very important. Let me say it again. Subscribe to the channel. Why is this important? Because certain things we don't share everywhere else. So you got to be on YouTube and make sure to turn on the bell notification so you never miss any episode whenever we release a new one, family. All right? That's how we do it. So now let's go ahead and talk about who is our guest tonight. And family, his name is Lionel Bailey. So before we bring him onto the stage, allow me to go ahead and read his bio so you learn a little bit about him. Then he's going to be right here with us, family. So Lionel L. Bailey is a seasoned leader with nearly 2 decades, right, of experience in ministry and military service, making him a respected voice in leadership and personal development. With a strong academic background, including a Master of Divinity and ongoing doctoral studies, Lionel has honed a leadership philosophy centered on integrity. Listen, this is very important, right? This is centered on what? Integrity, right? That's 1. Vision, that's 2. And finally, mentorship. This is big. I pause there because these are the type of things that we need to have as business owners, or at least strive to develop, right? Very important, right? Lionel's leadership, family, his leadership training is extensive, having been, commissioned into the U.S. Navy Chaplain Corps in 2017. He served in critical roles in operational areas where his leadership was tested and proven in high-pressure environments, family, right? His military service is decorated with honors, including Navy Marine Corps Achievements Medals with a Gold Star II Award, right? On the Navy Marine Corps Commendation Medal, highlighting his commitment to excellence and resilience. Excellence and resilience. We're about to talk about that tonight. As a spiritual leader and mentor, Lionel has led prominent congregations across the United States, emphasizing mentorship and the development of future leaders. Family, I'm excited to bring our guest onto this stage right now. Now, here's the thing. The conversation that we're about to have tonight, right, all started with him posting something specific on Facebook. Check what he said. Then the guest will be on the stage and we'll talk about it. Let's go.
I have a YouTube channel, and I started a YouTube channel because someone recommended that I start the YouTube channel complement my podcast. YouTube is a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of energy that's required. So wasn't getting the traction that I wanted. So I asked someone to look at it for me. They said to me I needed to tighten up my channel. So I was like, well, you need to focus more. Focus on what you are an expert in. So I need a favor from everyone. If you can help me out, I really would appreciate this. What do you think I'm good at? I'm not talking about, hey, he's funny, which I think I am sometimes. He's serious, can be quite serious. He has a beautiful family. Thank you very much. No, but what do you think I'm good at? You wanted to know something about a particular subject. What would you call and ask me about? You can put the comment below. It can be a sentence, it can be a paragraph. Either will work for me. What do you think I'm good at? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to all of your comments. I'll give it some time for everybody to comment. I'm going to take those comments, analyze them, and I'm going to focus all of my content on YouTube around what you guys think I'm really good at. This is important because I said this years ago after 2020 issue. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want my video to get tagged. But I knew that preachers and pastors and ministers and chaplains, we needed to focus our ministries outside of the church, because I feel like God is moving that direction. So that's why I started the channel initially, and that's why I started the podcast. And I want to continue on YouTube because it is definitely where you want to be. It is the wave of the future. It is the future happening right now. For people who communicate, I want to make sure that I'm sharing the information and the content that you think I'm really good at, and that you would call me on the shout of a dollar and says, I want to know about this. Call Lionel. All right. If you do this for me, I have a big, big thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, it can be one sentence, it can be a paragraph, but that one thing. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Welcome to the show, man. That was a lot. How you doing today?
Yo, I'm great, brother. How you doing, man?
Oh, man.
I'm on JP's show, y'all. Hey, I made it. I'm blessed,
man. We made it because we have you, man. You are amazing. For the folks that don't know, we actually go way back, man. You started as a client, and then you became a brother, and then ever since we've been in each other's lives, man, having our personal cell phone numbers. Sometimes, man, I remember the last time I called you, you're like, man, you gotta introduce yourself, brother. I'm like, yo, you don't have my number.
That was hilarious.
I know.
That was hilarious. Yeah. Man,
Yes,
I was
sir.
deep in study, man. I was deep in study. So I said, who is this guy?
That's how we do it sometimes, man. That's how you do it with family. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here. We call every guest a professor. So Professor Bailey is in the house tonight, and I know it's about to be good, man. So I appreciate you, brother. And so let's dive into it, right? We have a lot to talk about. I read your bio a little bit. And so the first question I want to ask you before we dive into the subject at hand, because I know giving people time to think about what you just shared on Facebook, the aftermath of that, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But why do you not say what's not in the bio that you really want to hold on tonight in regards to who you are and, you know, the difference you're bringing to this world today?
Well, hey, brother, first I want to say I'm super happy that we're making this kind of connection. I think it's important for many different reasons, particularly because of the era of leadership we're in and what our country is going through. Having this conversation about leadership is very important. And what people really need to know about, I guess, what people need to know about me is that, you know, I didn't start out where I am now. My background goes way back to a very, very challenged childhood. Started out in JP, people are not going, they're gonna be like, what? Yeah, I'm about to tell you. Yeah, I started out as I grew up during the crack era. Okay. And so I started out one of those guys on the street corner. That was me. And wow. And if it had not been for my family members who pulled me out, I would have died. I had a death threat on my life that someone was trying to take me out because a deal went bad. And so I moved from one part of Virginia to the next. And that was a profound experience on me. Thank God for my brother, my oldest brother, who really sacrificed a lot to help me get out of that situation. And so a lot of people don't know, you know, when they see me now, obviously people think, hey, you know, this guy must have this kind of background, that background, but you never know what people have gone through. And I shared that story real brief about my background, history, and past is because your background, history, and past can be used to shape the depth of your character. As a person.
Listen, family, he's already going deep. My God. No. Seriously, what you're saying is real. It's real. Yeah. Repeat that for the folks in the back, please.
Yeah, man. Look, what you're going through is proof that you are the real deal. It creates authenticity. The depth of what you've gone through, the trials and troubles in life, the hardships, the challenges, create a depth that goes far beyond what we typically may see or run into on these different platforms. I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for that. I'm always looking for depth. I'm always looking for character. I'm always looking for that kind of experience and connection with people. And that's important because anyone can be anything on social media.
Preach.
I mean, I'm 100. You know, you could be anything you want, and there are people who say that and do that.
Right.
But
Right.
finding people who've been through things and are able to say, you know, I may bend, but I won't break, right? Is important, right? Um, and it has a lot to do with how you choose to show up every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'll say this: if you choose to show up as your authentic self, warts and all,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's a level of depth and creativity and character that you can't find from a lot of people, places, and spaces you enter into. But it is that is what makes you uniquely you. And what I found out too, brothers, that a lot of folks don't like who they are.
Man.
A lot of think about that. A lot of people don't like who they are. And either they don't like their past, they don't like their warts, they don't like the problems, the stresses, the pains, the ups and downs. But the perception of who they think they want people to think they are is kind of what they want to hang on and focus on. And so I'm all about driving authenticity. You know what I'm saying? I think that is the wave of the future. That is what, and I tell this in the military sector all the time, which I spend my time helping high-ranking officials, work through spirituality, religion, and culture all the time. So I'm always updating people who are making very, very serious decisions in our country about how these cultural issues interplay with each other in order to create the society that we live in today. So authenticity is a big part of it, and that's the way that the leadership field of study is going into.
So you've said a lot, and I appreciate that, man. In order to help the folks here track, the title of this show is "What People Say versus What You Want," right? Because we live in a society today where, on one hand, right, you have what people say about you. On the other hand, you're like, yo, but I'm probably so much more than that, or I'm nothing like what people are saying about me. And here you are, right? Earlier, we played a segment where you recorded a video and you shared online.
Yeah.
So, but let's take a quick reverse, right, back to help, pour the foundation of this conversation. Why didn't you just go online, right, and any platform online and just change, like your titles and things like that? Why did you feel like you should record a video and open it up to receive people's opinion? For the folks that are like, I don't track, I don't understand. Could you give us an insight of where your mind was going and how did that help or didn't in regards to what you're trying to achieve?
Oh yeah, it was a massive help. In this era of trying to polish your image, is this interesting to people? What people really want to know is, who are you? What is your daily routine? What are you going through? What makes you uniquely you? And so I was in my car and I said, you know what? The only way that you're going to know how to serve is you have to ask the people that you want to serve, desire to serve, or are serving. And allow them to tell you what they want. That's called unselfish leadership, because leadership is never about the leader, always about those that are listening and those you're trying to lead. And so with that in mind, I approached the audience with that question. And I think I got about 50 responses back. I'm talking about, some of them were paragraphs, some of them were one sentences. But I wanted to be authentic with them. And I went back and reviewed, and I'm telling you, man, everything that people said, some things they replied to, I had no clue about. I didn't even know that they thought me as and mind you, these are people who some of them were part of my church from years ago. Some of them were people that I mentored very deeply for long periods of time, or they sat across from me in mentoring chairs. I talked to them and helped them through life transitory stages. So they were very honest with me.
Right.
And
right.
if you look at the video, you'll notice that it's kind of shaking. I'm in my car, it's not high production. And we can do high production, right? We know how to do that. But what's more important was the substance of creating that interplay of relationship between you and the audience and the person that is looking. They want to see who you are, and they want to see you captured in your environment so that they can relate to you.
Exactly. That's the word, right? Relate.
Yeah.
Relate is the word there, because I mean, you got to understand that at some level, we're all human. We all have things that, people identify that allows them to want to be part of our journey, part of our life, part of, our private circle, what have you. And, one thing that I've noticed is a lot of people go through a lot of challenges. There's no one person that does not face adversity, right?
Right.
But today we live in a society where, people will tell you, you know what, Lionel, I can't just open it up to everybody's opinion. But on the flip side, which is, why we're having this conversation today, is if you call yourself a servant, like you said, you should be willing to hear from the people that you say you're serving.
Right.
That, and not take it personal, right? Because, I mean, in the past, I've had folks that attack me on my YouTube channel, trolls, and you always get those things. But
trolls.
That's also, like you said, right? How are you coming out of, adversity, right? Is how you get up whenever you're knocked down.
Yeah.
Is that making you stronger? Because, as you said, everyone today is a public figure. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Not everyone is made to be a leader. Now, you talk a lot about leadership, right?
Yeah.
And as I was thinking of what are the best questions to ask you, one, it has to do with shaping perceptions, right? Through visionary leadership, that you are very, depth in, like that is what you talk about. You work with a lot of leaders in your career. And so what I want to do is ask you this question. How can content creators, because again, let's establish it. A creator is anyone that's putting something that was not existent before into the world. A Facebook post, an email, a book, whatever it is. When you're an author, a teacher, all that, you're creating content. So how can creators and leaders at the same time implement a long-term vision for their brand while at the same time mentoring the next generation in order for them to build sustainable and impactful communities? What would you say will be the best approach?
Yeah, the best approach is to know your why. You have to know why you're showing up. It's important to show up as your authentic self on a daily basis, but that has to come through a deep sense of reflection of who you are as a person. Why do you get up every morning? What moves you? What pushes you? After you have defined your why, or you're able to say, look, this is why I'm doing this. This really, really helps. After you have done that, then you're able to know how you want to show up in the world, right? So if you don't know why you're showing up, if you're showing up because, doing content creation looks cool, or you're showing up because this person told me I should do that, well, that will be short-lived. But if we're talking about sustainable content creation from a long period of time, it has to start with, this is why I am alive in the world. Brother, there are a lot of people who need to be reborn into their person and purpose and calling. Person, purpose, and calling. You need to be reborn. We in my line of work, we often talk about our being reborn spiritually. Some people need to be reborn in their identity of who they are and what their purpose is in life. So once you define your why, then that will drive you toward how you show up, what you do, what practices and behaviors do you participate, what disciplines you show up with every day. Otherwise, I found that when I talk to people, for instance, by way of example, when I talk to people who are asking me these questions, whether it's in a personal coaching session or a counseling session, right? They'll ask me these questions, and I ask them, who are you? Who are you? Not what your name, not what you do, but who are you apart from all of that, right? If you had everything taken away from you, what is it about you that stands resilient and time honored? What is it about you that stands resilient and time honored? That's what should drive and shape. So when I think about visionary leadership, I'm always thinking about why, what is my why? And then what's the end result? What kind of world am I creating? What contributions am I making as a content creator that's going to help shape the world the way I want it to be? Because I think that's very, very important. Otherwise, I think we can lose the depth of who we are as people. We can get caught with trends instead of focusing on our mission. And so it's not about trends. It's about you being driven by your core values and your why. Did I answer that question good enough, Doc?
You sure did, man. You went into some places that I initially didn't even think about, which is good, right? Because based on what you just said, the one thing that's resonated with me is, listen, beyond wanting to provide a service, beyond wanting to provide a solution, beyond wanting to, help, you've got to have a purpose behind that.
Yeah.
Just a service is not always a purpose, because the service is a lot of time attached maybe to a trend or to what's popping or a specific product that you want to sell. What if people don't care about it anymore? What if it's not as popular? What's the core motivator that is actually getting you up every day, that's pushing you to do this specific thing? And ultimately, that's what's going to sustain you during the hard times. And like we always say, right, the best businesses are the one that planned for the low seasons, right? Because there will be low seasons, but you plan how to handle it when you enter that season, so that you're not surprised. It doesn't surprise you. And in essence, that's what you're telling us. But now, right, people find themselves in situations where their communities, their followers, or their target audience are saying some things about them that is not what they initially wanted to have people think about them or say about them when they're not in the room, right? And so one part that is very present when I read your resume, not your resume, but your bio, right? And when I follow you online, is mentorship.
Yeah.
You mentor a lot of people.
Yeah.
I want you to take a little time and share with the people that are listening or watching this. How is mentorship going to help someone shape the perception people will have about them, about their businesses, or how to show up in their community, right? As a leader or as somebody that is impacting, in their service world? How can mentorship even help them at all?
Yeah.
And what's important?
Well, mentorship is a two-way street, right? That's important. So whenever we're thinking about mentoring, and I'll tell you another story, a real quick story about how much mentoring I've been involved in different areas. But whenever we're talking about mentoring, we're talking about a two-way street. Okay. So mentoring, the mentor and the mentee, there has to be an agreement between two, because you can have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you want to pass that on to a mentee, but they're not willing to accept what it is you have to give.
Yes, sir.
And so what happens is that the contract hasn't been sealed between the mentor and mentee. It says that sometimes my mentorship is going to put you in situations you don't want to be in. And sometimes I'm going to challenge you in ways that you've never been challenged, right? And I'm going to be your guide in good times and in bad times. When you make great decisions, I'll pat you on the back. But when you're not hitting on all cylinders, I'm going to tell you, you're going the wrong route. That's not what we talked about. Okay.
Yep.
So for many years, one of the examples I have is that I ran a Center for Leadership Development at Tarrant County College for a long time. And I also worked with an organization called Project Turnaround. I was in charge of mentorship, and I would put people together and I paired them up. And I did that for years in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And what I often told people is that when you're selecting a mentor-mentee relationship, that there has to be people who can not only watch this, provide wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and guidance, but the mentor, him or herself, has to have.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
That's an important part. I want you to slow down right there. People pay attention. Right, go ahead, continue. I know where you're going, but this is very important. The mentor himself, go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So the mentor himself or herself has to have a deep sense of who they are as a person, right? So you can't, and this is self-reflection, right? This is self-reflection. Self-reflection is powerful in this way. But you can't lead someone when you're not willing to lead yourself. You can't mentor other people if you're not able to be mentored yourself. And it is from that, you know what I mean? It's from that reservoir, man, that you feed people.
Yo, this is so good, family.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so excited, because in a world today where you go online and everywhere you turn your head left and right, you see experts, you see coaches, you see mentors, you know, everyone got something to teach you.
Right.
But here you have someone telling you, yo, you got to be able, the mentor, the leader, the one that's guiding you, got to be able to lead themselves. In other words, they're people as well. They can make mistakes as well. Do they hold themselves also accountable at the same level when they make mistakes? Do they make that clear with you that, listen, they've done it before. However, during the mentorship, they might be able to, pivot and change some things around depending on who they're mentoring. That is very important. There's no one pill that just can solve everyone's problem. And you're like, yo, that's it. No, it may work for him. It may not work for you. Lionel, chime onto this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Branding for people is, yo, man, I'm gonna put my nice pictures and my things out there. I'm gonna give this information. I'm gonna tell people my expertise, my college education, and there you go. And now, here you come. You're like, yo, we want to see the leader in you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what you mean? You want to see the leader in me? We want to see the leader. They're like, what do you mean? Like, I went to college. I have these degrees and I've achieved all this thing, have a good job, and I want to help other people. You're like, yeah, but show us the leader that you are. How can someone, Lionel, show who they are as a leader on the World Wide Web? Talk to us.
Well, I'm telling you, you get me excited, JP. Listen, what are your core values? Let's start there. What are your core values, right? When you're talking about showing up, are you producing what you're putting out online, or what you're putting out in the universe, or what you're putting out in the ether? How does it represent what you really believe to be true about the world you're in and how you function in that world? Really, like what? So what I'm trying to get, what I want you to think about for those listening is, how is what you're putting out in the world a true representation of the core values you believe in? That's critically important. And it matters because if you're not focused on who you are as a person, then you'll follow trends rather than following your gut instinct and following your calling, your purpose, your mission. Okay. So if you think about it this way, I'll give you an example. Talking about transformation and leadership. And I'm all about transformation and leadership. When I ran the Center for Leadership Development, the model that I used was called the social change leadership model. Because for me, and for many of us who are listening, we're often put in circumstances where we are tempted to follow after trends rather than follow after what we really believe, how we are present to shape the world, right? And so transformational leadership then investigates one's core values. What do you really believe about money? What do you really believe about capitalism? What do you really believe about leadership or family or how communities function, right? Or how you relate to your significant other? What is your core values about these things? So when we're putting stuff out online and we're creating content, right? And I was in this situation, I'm being 100% honest, since we're talking about transformational leadership and being honest and authentic. You know, there were times when I put out things online and I thought, I don't even know who that person is. Have you ever put out content and thought, was that me or was that me following a TikTok trend?
Come on. Shout out to Tanya Smith in the comment section. Stream like a boss. Come on. We have major heavy hitters in the chat tonight. Appreciate you being here, Tanya. Now, here's the thing. What you're saying is so real, Lionel. On the private side, people like Tanya that I talk to privately and all that, I share with them once, like, listen, I'm going to take a pause. Why? Because I've gotten to a point, even though I love creating content, I've gone to a point where I started questioning the purpose of the why behind what I was doing. Like, I started questioning, okay, what is motivating me? What's the reason why I'm still doing it? Has it become just a routine? Or am I still as excited about the purpose that I had when I started the whole thing? Like, has things changed in my life, which is okay, right? And I share with Tanya, listen, I know Tanya, she believes in this as well. You gotta take a step back and be healthy about the approach and ask yourself, okay, has my value proposition changed or is it the same? What's pushing me to keep doing these things? Am I still genuinely delivering authentically? Am I giving the all that I have to the people, or am I just giving the robotic one, right? Because you can do something so well so many times that you can do it in your sleep. But the fact that you can do it in your sleep doesn't mean that you're taking the time to pour everything, empty yourself every time you're giving it.
That's right.
And that is where it becomes a problem, where you gotta be okay letting the people know, listen, I'm going through a season right now. I need to take a step back. I need to, reevaluate certain things and come back refreshed. So I took 3 months. Some people probably will be like, they contact me like, JP, what's going on, man? Like, you're not gonna get the traffic you used to get on your channel, or is that the primary motivator? I love what Tanya said. That's fact. The world will tell you that trends are of value, but we know better.
Yeah. Man, that's a powerful story. What you're talking about is values investigation. Value investigation. Moral clarity is what you're looking for.
Yes.
Because and what you're looking for was sustainability. And that's what a lot of folks perhaps deal with, right? How can my content creation become sustainable over the long term? If you're looking for a one-hit wonder, hey, listen, I'll give you an example. One time I posted this was a I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. I posted a reel on Instagram, and it got, I think it got like 17,000, something like that. And once I got it, I said, oh, I'm done with that. I already know what to do. And I pulled back and I stopped doing it, right? Because I realized once I had conquered that really wasn't what I wanted. Because you can get that, you can have that experience where you are able to produce something, follow a trend, produce something, but is that really who you are? Is that really what can drive you over the long haul? So if we're talking about sustainability and performance over time, that requires value investigation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Building building resiliency, ups and downs. I think you talked about that at the beginning of the show, JP, about how over a long period of time, and you maintain resiliency over a long period of time by value investigation, which is, man, I'm glad you shared that experience, right? You sat back and said, well, it's because in order for JP to do what he does, continuously do what he does so well, which everybody knows in the chat, everybody who knows JP, you know, he's at the top of the food chain when it comes to content creation and production.
Appreciate
okay. He's mentoring a lot of us and he knows that. But how can he do that consistently?
Mm.
He just gave you the recipe. He took a break.
Sometimes
You know what I'm saying?
it's that simple, right?
Yeah. Take a break, sit back, think about, listen, if it's not fitting, if it's not working for you,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe you need to pull back. Now, here's another question I want to bring to the audience. Maybe you should ask yourself, who are you serving? Are you serving your ego? Or are you serving the people from the depth of who you are as a person? Okay? Because if you're serving your ego, then it's all about clickbait, likes, and numbers. But if your value is sustainable, then you're interested in how can I encapsulate that over time through ups and downs, peaks and valleys, family changes. All of us are business people, right? We all have businesses. My wife is a business. Her and I started a business years ago, right? And that's going well. But in order for us to do that over time, you have to have some more reflection on your values. Why are you showing up every day?
Wow. Yo, this is just his everyday family. I mean, no, let me be real. They think I'm joking. This dude right here, this is his everyday. That's what he does, man. He will make you think about yourself. He'll question you, tell you, listen, why are you wearing yellow today, JP? No, for real.
You're hilarious, man. You're hilarious.
No, but that's amazing. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. Ad break, family. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. Real good things. Lionel, stay with me, family. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Miss Luck, I'm so happy. I look so good, y'all. I'm crispy. All right, I'm crispy. I'm done. Listen, y'all. Oh my goodness. Life is a little dull sometimes, right? You can see my colors right now. My colors is a little dull. And you know, sometimes you gotta bring a little bit more life to what you do. Look at me. My boy JP set me up with an amazing look. The process was incredible. Before he even sent it my way, he told me how my lighting should be. We got on a Zoom call. We went through all of the settings on the camera, made sure I'm white balanced properly, made sure my lighting was right. Even the foreground and background lighting, he made sure everything was crispy. He let me know what popped with my skin. He made me feel real good. Okay, he made me feel real good. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. He made me feel real good. And man, you guys can see going from 0, all right, to hero. Okay, like let me just dial it in just enough. He even gave me the number to dial it in on. Now, some of you may be asking, what in the heck is a LUT? Now, a LUT is all about getting that custom dial-in color grading that you need just for your custom look. It was important to me as I'm growing my YouTube channel, as I'm growing as a broadcaster, as I'm growing as a content creator. I wanted to make sure that all of my coloring was right and tuned in each and every single time I turn on the camera. Every single time I look into the camera and I'm doing a video, I want to make sure I look good. And if you are a content creator, you're going to want to have your own custom look. You don't want to just download one from the internet and you just put it in there and it looks kind of cool. You want to make sure you have something that's custom from you that no one else has, and my boy JP is the one who can make it happen for you. I'm so happy with my product. It's just incredible. Get it today. I'm overjoyed. It's just an amazing quality product, and I appreciate JP so much, man. You just don't know how amazing you are and how great this product is and this luck. I'm so happy. I look so good, y'all. I'm crispy. All right, I'm crispy. I'm done. Yeah, just get with JP now. Just get with him now. That's it.
Welcome back. My man Jay Dunn is like, yeah, I'm crispy. Family, that's pretty cool stuff. If you're interested in getting your own custom LUT, go ahead, right? Visit the website, jphightech.com/custom LUT. jphightech.com/custom LUT and get your own LUT created for you so that you can also look crispy on camera. It's something that, I use it for the folks that don't know. LUT is very important. It's used in cinematography. And if you're using some good encoders in order to go live, like Ecamm Live that I'm using right now, well, you need your custom LUT so that your colors, your primary colors, your lighting, everything aligns to your brand. And that is one way that you want to show up, being consistent every single time you show your face on the web. All right, family? So let's go ahead and continue this conversation. Lionel, thank you, Lionel, to be here and sharing your wisdom and knowledge with us. I know you're a busy man, and one question that I know is important for the folks, I'm going to ask it for them, is what about the folks that will tell you I messed up? Like, what if what people are saying about me, about my brand, about my business, about me in general, is not what I want them to say about me? How can they realign? How can they change the narrative? What will be your advice for folks that are like, how can I take control of this and really change, what's been said or discussed about me behind my back when I'm not in the room? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I would say transparency is key. Transparency is key. Like being able to admit that this is not going in the direction I wanted to go. Is a critical part for showing up authentically and having people to build trust with you, right? When the video you showed at the very beginning of me in my car talking to people, that was all about being transparent. It was all about creating trust with the people that I'm serving, and these are people who know me best, right? When you if you have a significant other, right? Go to your significant other and ask them, what do they think about your leadership? What do they think? How do they think about you handling money? What are they going to tell you? They're going to tell you the truth.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes that truth won't feel good. And sometimes it won't be what you want to hear. But it's necessary for you to show up authentically and to live your true self, right? So being able to be transparent is saying, like I shared with everybody at the beginning about my personal story. Hey, I'm an older guy now, right? I may look good now, but I'm an old guy. I've been around for a while.
Man,
and
who knew?
Yeah.
Yo, man, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but
yeah, no.
What you're saying is important because you hear that a lot, right? Where you need to be open, authentic, genuine. But what comes out a lot, even in my private mentorship sessions, is when is it, or how can you create the balance of not oversharing or undersharing? Like, where's the threshold? Like, how do you know? How do you create that? How much is too much? Yeah. Right? Because when you say being authentic, what does it truly mean? Crying on camera? No, I'm being real. Like, what am I supposed to show my kids on camera? Crying? I mean, when I'm taking a nap, like have a camera on the side. No, I'm making it light so we can laugh about it, but people really don't know.
Yeah.
Help us out.
Yeah, I would say in order to have that sense of deep transparency, that's only for a certain group of people. Right.
There we go.
So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that level of transparency is only for a certain group of people. Another way that I understand is that most of you know that I'm a minister, so I'll just go on and put it out there. Jesus had 125 disciples. But most of us have only heard of 3 or 12. but there was 125 disciples. So he had a whole gang that he hung out with.
Oh, yes, sir.
Then he had 12 people who were his department head individuals. But then he had 3 people who were his board members. Those were the people that he had the meeting after the meeting with. Those were his strategists, right? So when Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration, and I'll be quick with this one, right? He didn't, even the people close to him didn't totally understand everything he went through, but he showed him his vulnerability in that moment. So you have to have you have to be able to tailor and layer that sense of vulnerability and transparency. So if you needed to make a pivot, or if you needed to be more transparency can happen in layers. You don't tell your business to everyone, right? Or even as a content creator, like I'm not the guy, right? And I know people do. This is what I talk about trends. I'm not the guy that going to show you a picture of me waking up in the morning. I'm just not going to do that. Yeah.
Oh my God. I sure am not.
I'm an introvert by nature. I'm a Virgo and I'm an introvert. Okay. So I love my personal time and private time, and I will maintain that because that's what helps me to show up as my true self. So I think transparency can be layered, and you share that and you get that depth of what you need to hear and learn from others, from people who know you best. And then you layer that out to those you're serving in content creation, so forth and so on. That's at least that's how I look at it.
So let me ask you this, right? As a follow-up question, how or what would you say, based on experience, will be some of the best ways, right? Your top 3 to 5, maybe, ways to create that connection? And what avenue should you be using in order to grow your business and grow that connection as well, and continue the conversation with your direct circle and indirect circle?
Yeah. Well, there's nothing like creating. There's nothing like creating authentic relationships through shared experience of what you're going through, suffering, challenges, right? As you go through something or help those who are having some of those kind of experiences, right? And being able to share in those experiences with other people is a great strategy for creating your own community, a depth of community, right? So look for those opportunities where you can not just share with people, but share in the sufferings and experiences that they're going through, so that you can create a sense of, hey, you're part of my inner circle, you're part of my inner group, right? So being able to accept the humanity that we all have is a great strategy for developing community and authentic relationships with people, right? When I was a public speaker traveling the United States, this was years ago, one of the things that I saw from people all over the United States, I've been to every city, I've been to every major city in the United States. And one thing we all shared in common is pain. Everybody has pain. And so the more that you can connect with people's pain, that's a strategy. The more you can connect with people's pain, the more that you can understand where they're coming from and share in that experience, the better way you're able to create that kind of community and feedback repertoire, if you will, so that you can begin showing up as the kind of person you want to be. So I think that's a very important part of how we create those communities and how we create those strategies that will last a long time.
That's good. And one thing I want to say, it is okay, and I know Lionel, you agree with me, it is okay if it doesn't come natural to you. Don't
Bingo.
beat yourself up because it's just hard for you to do. Everyone got different strengths and weaknesses. But here's the beauty. Whenever you know you have a weakness, how are you getting support in the areas in which you need help?
Right.
Lionel, he just said it multiple times. He mentors people. He has private sessions. Right? Are you hiding your struggles, or are you working on them in order to strengthen them? Because I mean, here's the reality. Nobody knows it all. Trust me, even the wealthiest person, actually the wealthiest people in the world will tell you, listen, they're wealthy because they got smart people around them.
That's right.
In other words, they knew their weakness and then when they hired the right people, say, listen, I need help with this. I need you to do this. And let's do it. Bam. They knew how to leverage their weakness into strength.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
And this is something that I wanted you to talk about, because something as simple as you being on camera and doing podcasts, not trying to promote anything, just real people that follow this podcast. I've seen you share your review about, your experience working with me and all of that, to know that, but it works for this community. They understand that, right? So this community, they know about, listen, I need help with my camera presence. I need help with my podcast structure. I need help with my branding element, my overlays. I need help with, setting up a system in place to leverage live streaming to, grow my business, all of that. But even though you're an expert speaker, leader, minister, and all of that, you have years of experience. You're bringing the same expertise, and you told yourself, let me get help with someone that will help me with my visibility. Can you talk about that? Because I believe you said in the video that we shot at the beginning that you believe a lot of ministers should take it online. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So that's a beautiful question, and it's really going full circle, JP. When I put out that video, it was me connecting with the community and, as you say, leveraging your weaknesses and by employing other people to help you, which is something that you know that I've worked with you, that you've helped me out in so many different ways. But this is such a constant resource and strategy that we can use, leveraging people who have strengths in these different areas that can help you. Which is really, you're saying, I'm confident in myself enough to know that I do not know it all.
Whoo! There it is. There it is.
You know what I mean?
Because it's not a weakness. It's a strength.
Right. One of the things that me and my wife talked about years ago is that in order for the business to grow from a mom and pop shop, we have to get people in who can see our blind spot. People who can see our blind spots and can help assist in those areas where we just can't see. Right? Because you're never going to be able to do it all by yourself. So when I put that video out, that was me saying, I know I cannot do it by myself. I need people to help me do that. So I reached out to you, right? And you said, hey, Bailey, this ain't working. and there's some vulnerability in that, particularly for an individual like myself who's had many, many years in different leadership capacities, right? But I'm not a marketing expert. Right, that's JP's job. Let me employ him, right? And you'll find out as you do that, you'll begin to build community still, right? So whenever I need something in the marketing era, guess who I'm going to reach out to 9 times out of 10? It's going to be JP. I'm going to text him and ask him a question. And he's going to tell me or he's going to send me a link that says, hey, man, go ahead and
book it, man. That's a paid session. You already know. And
hey, listen,
don't be afraid to let folks know. That's also another aspect of it, right? Where you're like, yo, what if that's part of some of the paid conversations that I do? When is it okay to let them know as even if it's a close party or friend or private party, someone that is my family, to let them know you got to pay for that. How
Yeah.
do you overcome that bridge? How do you set that up?
Brother, listen to me, y'all. Man, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for, right? There's a reason why people choose a Ferrari over a Ford.
Come on.
There's a reason for that. Because the quality and the time and the history it takes to create the stitching of Italian leather, the engine in the inside, it takes time, energy, and precious materials in order to put that together. And it takes people who are experts in that particular thing to put that together. It's not the case with Ford. Okay. So if you want to get to the next level, you have to go to people and be willing to make the investment in order to get where you want to go. And that is, once again, goes back into what we've been talking about all along. Once you know who you are and you know what you want, you know where you want to go, and you know the contribution you want to make to the world, then what are you willing to invest in order to get there? Right? What are you willing to go through and invest? And there's time, money, energy, and resources in order to get there. There's one brother, I think you know him. His name is Walter. Walter, I can't remember his last name, but
Jeanette.
Yeah, Walter Jeanette. He made a comment on YouTube that was powerful. He said people are not paying you with resources. They're paying you with their time.
Come on.
They're paying you with their time.
Now you're gonna make me invite Walter.
Oh yeah, man.
And Walt, if you're watching this is a segue. We're having this conversation live.
Yeah.
Walt is gonna come back. He was on this show before, but now Walt has done something amazing where he was able to reinvent himself on YouTube. Right? And this is something that a lot of creators or creatives have a hard time doing. They're so and this is the reason why I'm talking about this, because whenever you're in the business world, whenever you're walking and you're trying to create and establish yourself, sometimes you can take a pause and like, you know what? Let me start new. Let me start over something new again. That does not make you a sellout or anything, but we'll talk more about that, because it is important to also know how do you reinvent yourself without losing your identity.
Right.
That's big.
Yeah,
because some people feel like me reinventing myself is losing everything about myself. But you are the common denominator.
Right. That's right. You are the content.
There we go.
You are the content. And that's why, I'm always talking about that reflective part of who we are and how we show up in these places and spaces. I think it's not only important, it's a necessity in order for sustainable creation over time. It's a necessity in order to have your energies put in the right direction.
Yes.
It's a necessity to your own happiness as a creator. Because how many people are creating and are miserable with the things they're creating? Because they're creating for sponsors and not creating for the authenticity of who they are. So my goal is to help you to congeal the two, to be who you are and get the benefit of the financial gain or whatever you're trying to get. But I need you to show up as who you are. We got to start there first. If we can't start there, we can't go far. We can't be sustainable. We can't mentor. We can't do any of these things. We can't be vulnerable. We can't function from our core values, right? We can't do this over a long period of time. So that's what I'm interested in. And I think what you're doing, brother, is setting people up on a platform where they can have these kind of conversations. You're providing a platform where we can have these conversations and people can go back and reflect. I got my journal here and I write. I always tell people about reflecting with journal writing, right? And I've been writing down things that you've said, right? Because what are we doing? We're helping create longevity and sustainability. It's not just about It's not just about the platform. It's about
Mm-mm.
you.
It's about you. And talking about you, we have another heavy hitter in the comment section. Mary Christ Deepness the Prophet. He is in the comment section. Shalom to you, man of God. Thank you for being here. Listen, this is a man that's busy, a man that, works a lot, where a lot of people look up to, that also deal with the same thing, right? Where people will come to him and like, okay, I'm trying to become like you. But at the same time, don't lose your identity, because God gave each one of us a unique identity. The question is, how are we using that in order to embrace the purpose for which we're walking? And this is what the conversation comes to a closer, because this is what it's all about, right? If I say the most successful people, whether they believe in God or not, right? Because that's not the point, right? In order to be successful is understanding you better than anyone.
There you go.
Come on. And I've learned that in business real quick. That I need to understand me better than anybody else. Why? Because whenever, like what Lionel did, where he went out and asked everyone on the Facebook, and he got a whole bunch of opinion, right? You don't take all of it, by the way. I know Lionel do. But people will tell you all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
if you do not have any foundation on who you truly are, that can do you some damage.
Yep.
And to close here, I wanted to ask you, man, how do you deal with the bad feedback? The ones that would hit you on a personal level. Maybe something you've dealt with and that's taking you back. How do you mentally deal with that so that that doesn't change who you are or how you show up or how you approach and serve people?
You got to sit with it. You got to sit with that. You got to sit with it. And you got to move your ego out of the way. Is there something true about what they said, or is it all false? Right? We all get trolls, right? And I'm a guy that puts out religious educational content on YouTube. It's not necessarily a banger that's going to get millions of views. Right. But at the same time, guess what? I get trolls all the time. Some of it makes me laugh. And then there's some that made me think, well, I never thought about it that way. Right? If you remove your ego and find a nugget of truth in the criticism, in what people are saying about you, if it's not a nugget of truth, you take the bones. I mean, you take the meat and you throw away the bones, so to speak, as we used to say in the country, right? But within all criticism, there can be some benefit that you can gain. When I say sit with it, how did you respond to what you heard internally? And I paused. That's a dramatic pause I just made. The dramatic pause is so that you can understand and see the internal reservoir. What was turning in you when you heard that? Did you feel like you wanted to strike back? Were you angry? Why? Was there some truth to what they said, but you don't want to admit it? Well, you have to be willing to sit with that, right? Always being in a learning posture. Very critical for leadership. Visionary transformational leadership. Always be in a learning posture. What can I learn? Even though I'm having this conversation with JP, guess what? He's teaching me some things. He's always taught me some things, but he's still teaching me right now. Why? Because I'm in a learning posture. I have my pen right here, my notepad right here, and things that he said that I've written down. So you can learn from criticism.
Yes, you can.
You're not too big, and we're not too bold to not learn from those who critique us. And one of Admiral told me one time, she said this. She said, the hardest thing about what you're going to have to learn is that there are going to be people who don't have as much life experience as you do, but they know more about the military than you do.
Oh my God. Ooh, that's fire.
Yeah, man. Learning posture is it. You can always learn. Get the ego out of the way. You don't know everything. There are people who are going to criticize you, and some of that criticism may be true. And if it's not, smile and move on.
Smile and move on, family. And this brings it to a closure tonight. We can't let you go without you telling the folks. What about the folks like, yo, this dude is really making me rethink my whole life. How can I connect with him? How can people work with you, connect with you? Where can they go and all that? Can you go ahead and share, please?
Yeah. You can check me out on Instagram. I am Lionel Bailey. Of course, my name is right there. I am Lionel Bailey. Most people hit me up through there. You can also check me out on my podcast page. You can look at me on YouTube, which is Words for Change podcast, Words for Change, just like it says. And you can also find me on there. Oh, there's a YouTube. Thanks, brother. There's YouTube there. Some real in-depth conversations there that I like to have with people. You can also shoot me an email. So my email is listed in the description of all of my videos. You can just click on the email and it goes directly to me or one of our virtual assistants, and I'll definitely get back with you. Okay. So, but if you want to talk to me directly, just message me on Instagram. I am Lionel Bailey.
There it is, family. He is Lionel Bailey. Make sure to follow him, an amazing brother. Thank you so much, man. I really am honored. I know the community has received a lot from you tonight, and you didn't hold back. So we are honored and we're grateful for it. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening. Don't go anywhere. Let me go ahead and close, and I'll be with you. Thanks so much. Family. As you can see, season 6 just started, and I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. Show up every week. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe. You heard me? Subscribe, family. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, right? Make sure you subscribe and understand this is what we do.
Hey, man, this is DJ Strick, and you're watching Content Creators University with JP High Tech. Man, don't miss a thing. Stay right here.